Hello, my name is acbtheman, and welcome to Radio Epic number 6. Tonight we have bnelly. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
And we have a special guest from either Japan or Australia. I'm not really sure. DriftngPlatypus. How are you doing, DriftngPlatypus?
I'm good.
How did you come to Epic, and sort of what do you do in Destiny? What do you consider yourself? Or how do you consider yourself? What do you do in Destiny? Excuse me.
I am a filthy casual goof-off PvE PvPer who came to Epic via Spoonman forever and ever ago. Because he was part of a clan I was in that was failing miserably because it had 6 members, and he was also a part of Epic, and I happened to cross it and I was like, oh hey, and then it was all just glory and shooting things in Firefly.
Do you prefer PvE or PvP, or do you just kind of play them both?
I play them both, but I really like PvP only for Iron Banner. And I don't know why I get really nerdy about that, but then I really enjoy the raids for the rest of the month.
Well, speaking of Iron Banner, we'll get to some Mayhem Clash in a second. For me personally, I like Iron Banner because it was the first time I ever hit max light in year 1. And I also like control, so, you know, Iron Banner is just fun. But, so, Iron Banner Mayhem Clash was this week, and I've got varying reports from clan members. Some people say it's the worst thing ever. Half their games are wins, half their games are losses. Some people say they're going in and crushing other teams and not having a loss at all. What are your guys' impressions of Iron Banner Mayhem Clash so far this week?
I think it's a riot. Mayhem is definitely one of my favorite PvP play styles. I like to hurl grenades blindly into places and just hope for the best. And there's something really satisfying about golden gunning something and then it explodes.
Well, Golden Gun seems to be the subclass of the week for sure. But yeah, I like it. It's interesting. I've been trying to play with all 3 classes. I have not gotten to rank 5 with any one class, so that's probably just because I'm not really wanting the rewards. I mean, the Silver Dread can be okay, but the Clever Dragon, you pretty much have to have it short range and less ammo in the magazine, which, I don't know, you just pick up the Waltz or pick up something else. But I've been really having a lot of fun with Voidwalker, and like you said, chucking a grenade in the corner with the Axion bolts. You just throw it and then throw again and throw again. So people are having a hard time like sliding under them or shooting them or dodging them because there's like 3 or 4 coming at them before they get a chance to shoot or fire their super back. So
I've just been enjoying slamming everybody with striker slams. It's been my cup of tea. Been doing pretty decent with it, so nothing too special. Going old school.
It is really satisfying though. I gotta, like, if you shoulder charge into a slam because you get that one unsuspecting foe and then you're like, surprise!
I guess, how has y'all's, it sounds like your weeks have been pretty good with it. I had about 4 games in a row last night where we were just getting destroyed until we kind of got used to playing again. But so y'all been having a good time this week? Y'all haven't been going up against teams with the Uber strats or whatever. I have a story about that in a second. But y'all been having a pretty good week?
Yeah, it's been a good week. I had one terrifying game with all randoms that had a team, like an actual formed team with 3 defenders, 2 night stalkers, and a golden gunner. That was hard. But Nova Bomb decimates Bubble, Golden Gunner decimates Voidwalker. Laughter for everyone.
Well, we had a story like that where I can't remember exactly who I was playing with, but it was on Wednesday night. We were on Bannerfall, and the other team had 2 defenders, 2 golden guns, and then 2 randoms. And the randoms weren't the problem. On Bannerfall, you have that kind of big open area by the tree on the outside, and they popped bubbles there constantly every time they got them. Their golden gunners kept getting supers because of orbs and stuff. And we got spawn trapped so hard. We luckily didn't get the mercy, but it appled us or whatever it does when it splits the teams up afterwards, and it was It was the only game where I said this is horrible. But other than that, it's been pretty fun. I'm glad Iron Banner's back. I want them to do something crazier next time. Maybe not Mayhem again. Um, Maybe like 4v4 or something very different besides Mayhem. But overall, it's been very good. Have y'all picked up any of the weapons? Are you going to try to play with a Clever Dragon or a Silver Dread at all?
I've picked my fair share of them. I haven't played with any of them. I mean, who uses weapons in Mayhem?
Well, I'm not saying Mayhem, but like outside of Mayhem.
Maybe. We'll see. I haven't had much time for it this week, so I don't know if I'll get to use them anytime soon. So we'll see.
I hope to. I haven't picked up anything this time because I have a Clever Dragon from last round that I really enjoy.
So, I seem to be the odd man out on this, but every Clever Dragon I've gotten this week I've just deleted because I have a waltz. I love the waltz. Why use something else? Anyways, so how full is your vault, Drifting? Do you have a ton in it? Do you not have a lot in it? I want to hear how full your vault is.
My vault is ridiculously full. I'm 106 of 108 slots full of weapons.
More and more I seem to be the outlier, and so I don't know if you've heard any of the other podcasts or seen the semi arguments I've had. I have like 7 weapons in the vault right now, and so anyways. There's not really a lot of news this week. On This Week at Bungie, they essentially said, "Hey, here's some charities you can go do. Here's a Bungie bounty. Here's some cool videos." There's not really been a lot of news except for this GameStop leaked Destiny 2 hats. Now, I do have to say, GameStop has sure leaked a lot of stuff lately. About Destiny 2, and personally, they need to stop it. Whoever keeps leaking this stuff needs to be like, they need to crack down GameStop. Anyways, but the hats have the emblems of the subclasses, but with animals attached to them. So we have a lion for the Titans, we have a snake for the Hunters, and we have either a phoenix or a falcon or some sort of bird of prey for the Warlocks. Now, normally, I don't like speaking about this kind of speculation, but because it's an actual physical item that GameStop is selling, it's worth mentioning. I know that we're going to get some gameplay in less than a week, but it's worth mentioning this because it could mean something for Destiny 2. So, have y'all guys heard about this? What do y'all think about this? Is this something that we should be extra hyped about, or is this just some piece of merchandise GameStop is going to start selling soon?
I'm not convinced. It might just be that hype. So I'm kind of a laid back anyway, sort of wait and see what comes of any kind of speculation. That way I'm not like super, super hype train and then sad trombone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of looking at that stuff right now online, and it's like, I mean, the hats look cool from what I've seen, but like I don't know how they're gonna tie, if they do actually tie into Destiny 2. I don't know how they would, but I mean, they look really cool, and maybe we'll get some throwbacks from something that we haven't heard from yet, or something. Who knows? But I'm not like being like, oh, spoilers or something, or whatever. But I think they look cool, if anything.
There's been a ton of speculation. Some people say that since we are losing our light, because the invitations sent to people that are going next week say, "Welcome to a world without light." So some people are thinking we're losing the light, maybe losing Traveler. Maybe these are inspirations for new powers. Maybe they're just sort of representations of our subclasses. But I thought that they may be, or maybe not classes, excuse me. But I think they are interesting due to the fact that they're sort of showing maybe the character a little bit of the classes. Not exactly, but Titans are supposed to be in the forefront. In lore specifically, the Battle of Six Fronts was Titans just keeping the city defended. Hunters are a little bit more sneaky, so snake in the grass makes sense, sort of. I don't really know what other animal is sneaky. Maybe a cat or something. But we already have lion for titans, and then bird of prey for warlocks. I guess because of their melee skills or whatever. But it's interesting to me just because since it's officially labeled Destiny 2, the hats say Destiny 2 on the side. It could just be an emblem thing, but it may have some implications for classes or something like that. Um, I don't really have anything else to say just because I'm waiting for next Thursday. But um, I don't know. I think it's more interesting than just we need to sit back and wait. Normally I like to do that, but I don't know. It's one of the more interesting pieces of news coming out this week, or just all waiting for next Thursday.
Yeah, I think that's the ultimate. Just the ultimate wait show, I guess. Let's just see what happens.
Okay. Well, while we're kind of talking about Destiny 2, Platypus, is there anything you want to see in Destiny 2, whether or not someone's already spoken at length about it? What do you kind of want to see changed, added, taken away from Destiny 2?
I want to see more of that open world collaboration, more than more than just a 6-man raid team. Why don't we get into 12 or 24 people raid groups as well as the PvP arena? Really get that massive front, heading into against into the throes of battle and against this darkness that we're going to face. It's the biggest thing for me. And vault space. What? Who said that?
I don't know what you're talking about. I got all the vault space in the world. I mean, you just hold the X button and it solves all sorts of problems.
Yes, of course.
There's that button that says lock items. Why lock them? You may have to delete them later. But anyways, that's interesting. The only thing that I can see with the more guardians is you are gonna definitely need to have a clan. You're gonna definitely need to know some people at least, because imagine trying to 12-man LFG, 11 random guardians, and you trying to do maybe the encounter that requires that is a little bit easier. But I don't know. It would be interesting, definitely be interesting, but it'd be hard to pull off and hard to LFG if you had to do that.
On the flip side of that topic, I think it'd be interesting to see more, I guess, ways for the solo player to do things, not just necessarily like campaign wise or story wise, but like, somebody was talking, I don't remember where, but somebody was talking about how they basically got to 400 just by playing Iron Banner or something like that. Like, that really shouldn't be the only way, in my opinion, to get to the highest light level, is Iron Banner or a raid. Like, there should be other ways. I think they could come up with something. Because, not everybody either has time to raid or, LFG or something like that. So, like, I think having more options to either get to the highest light level or get better gear, would be a fantastic addition to the game. So that way, like, those people who are either just starting out and are getting towards higher light and don't have friends that play Destiny or a clan or something, where they can get to that point and then, like, not have to play catch up to the clans that already have people that are 400, or max level or light level or whatever. So I think that would be interesting.
Along those same lines, then, if you are a solo player and there are more things to do, what if there was an option to leave your fire team open and people could join your fire team without having to go to orbit? So say you're in a patrol space and somebody says, "Oh, that guy's fire team's open." They can join you for an instance and maybe see where you're going. I don't know. There's a lot of ways now to get to 400, but the problem is you have to kind of know what they are. Yes, you know about Iron Banner. Yes, you know about raids, but in order to get some of the other stuff, you're like, oh, well, I may need a ghost or class item or something, a lot of people might not know to go to the Archon's Forge or something like that. So maybe have it a little bit clearer. Maybe some of the base stuff could get you there. I don't know if I personally like that though. Now that I think about it, um, not everyone is going to be um, max light. And I understand where you're coming from, but I don't know if everyone should be max light just from, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, I'm not saying that they have they have to have a way to do it. I think there should just be some more options for a solo person, rather than just only doing Iron Banner, or whatever they decide to do the equivalent. I mean, I'm not saying that they have to, but like, it's hard to, and like you said, it is not clear on how to get a higher light level. So I think they either just need to like kind of spell that out or give information about that. But just, I guess, just besides doing story stuff and playing the Iron Banner equivalent currently, maybe just having ways to help the solo player get better gear. Because I know, like, for me, that was what put me off Destiny for like 3 months, was like I got to a certain point, like 350, and had no idea how to get to 400. And it wasn't until like I posted on Reddit and then like got into Clan Epic and stuff that I was able to actually do the raids and get to the 400, because like I didn't know what Iron Banner was. I didn't even know that came out once a month or whatever. So I think like just having more opportunities for people to get better gear and things like that outside of raids, and Iron Banner specifically, would be helpful for some people.
well, you said you jumped into a clan and were able to find out how to. You were starting to find out. What if they had easier ways to join groups? I know there's an LFG system on the Xbox. I know that there's LFG systems out there. What if there was an easier in-game way to find a group, so maybe you could do some of that in-game stuff. I see what you're saying about having more ways to get um, to max light, but maybe they could have a more robust in-game system to join people or make it easier to find people in your game. Um, I don't know. For me personally, I was a little bit more driven than other people. I was a year one player, and so when I hit sort of a wall, I went and searched out what to do. And I like when Dark Below came out was when I first hit max light, was level 32. I hit level 30 and was like, how do I get higher? What's going on? How do I continue to do that? And then I started finding resources and stuff. So if you need some help, people listening to this, continue listening to this because we'll talk about all that. But maybe in-game stuff to join other fire teams would be nice too. I don't know, or join clans, I guess, or LFG in-game, something like that.
But I like the idea of being able to, if you spell it out, because I was stuck for a long time. Like, well, what do? I don't want to do trials because I'm not that kind of a player. I was like, well, what else is there? And then it's like, oh, well, now you can do like Prison of Elders or Challenge of Elders. You can get there. But I like the idea of more options.
Well, maybe okay. So maybe either give more options, or instead of having the community come up with the sheet that says, "Oh, you need to do this to get this level," maybe in game when you hover over something, it says, like when you go to pick up a faction package, it literally says will only go up to a certain amount of light. Or you hover over Challenge of Elders, says rewards will vary to this light. So maybe having that in game as well. I mean, I know that the UI is pretty good, but maybe just having a slightly better UI to make it easier for those solo casual players. Um, by the way, if you're a solo casual player, join our clan, so you don't have to be. But if you do happen to be solo or casual, maybe they can have stuff in the UI a little bit easier to see. I know they're gonna have improvements, but that's just something that'd be nice. I also thought of something that might be cool. So Borderlands 2 is definitely a looter over shooter, and I know Destiny's trying to be more of a shooter over looter. But what if the same system where the more people in your party, more people in your fire team, the more chance of good loot. So maybe not apply that to the raid, since you need stuff in the raid, but maybe have like if you have 3 people in your fire team, you have like a 10% chance of a legendary engram dropping from majors or something like that. I think that'd be cool to incentivize you to play with a group.
But then are you penalizing those solo players?
A little bit, but you're incentivizing them to play the group. And if they joined a fire team with a random or something that they're in the strike with, then that would apply. Maybe if you joined a strike or something, it would apply. But like for like a fire team, like a regular mission or something, you're going in mission like I want a good piece of loot. But if you're going with a fire team, it says more loot chances with a fire team. And yes, you would be penalizing those people, but maybe push people towards the fire teams. I don't know. It was an idea I had, an idea that I certainly like, and I know some people wouldn't like it as much. But
well, and it wasn't like the drop table insane for vanilla Destiny, like original.
Oh, definitely.
So like having, and especially when we go into Destiny 2, having that incentive, because I can't imagine that like nobody in Clan Epic's gonna do it solo. Like I would almost imagine like a large majority would be going in with like, teams of 2 or 3 or whatever.
Yeah, full teams.
Yeah. So like, I mean, it would be awesome, if you could. I agree. It does hurt solo players too, but I mean, that's just, you can't really do anything about it. But yeah, like having maybe a little bit of incentive just to get together with clanmates or other people online and just, go through the game.
So is there any other PvP news or any other PvE stuff we want to talk about this week before we get on to sort of our last little segment? All right, well then, the last little segment that we're going to get to is bnelly sent an article on Reddit, or I guess it was a post on Reddit that he thought was interesting that sort of got me thinking a little bit. According to lore, there were 8 towers around the city, all fully stocked with guardians, just the whole thing. Now there's one tower, the tower. So when the tower gets attacked by Cabal, it's not going to be very pretty. It's not going to be very nice because we have one tower out of 8 that we're using, and they're sending like their entire fleet. So I thought that was an interesting thing to think about. I don't know. It's just going to be, when you stop and think about that, it's going to be a little bit more disastrous for us than you initially think of just watching the trailer.
Yeah, definitely. That tracks. I mean, if you think of the size, just the mass of the Cabal and their ships, those dropships are massive vehicles. They're going to be dropping on one tower. There's going to be pieces everywhere. There'd be holes in the wall, and maybe things just hanging out of said holes. Or
so my question is, so they're going to obviously drop giant bombs and stuff. Why don't I have a gun on my character? Why is my character just like twiddling his thumbs in his apartment with all of his guns in the vault? I know it's for gameplay stuff, but you think I would have like my favorite gun right on the table or something right over there. I don't know.
Yeah, something on your hip, just in case, because you have to be ready to push back the darkness. You'd think you'd be basic armed.
I know it's a gameplay thing, but thinking about that too, how they're just going to come in and wipe everything out. If your character's being pulled forward and you're allowed to continue with your character how it looks, that makes sense that your character's alive. Why did your character not have like my favorite weapon right now is bad juju? Why isn't bad juju like in a case in my apartment or in my dwelling or something like that? I don't know.
Well, I think it would give them an opportunity to introduce new stuff to the game, because I was just thinking back to a thing with Halo Reach. There was a mission in there that you fall from space, and like when you fall out, you're like holding like an assault rifle. I can't remember what for sure. I'm pretty sure, but like you fall from space, you land in a city, and like all you have is a pistol to start with. So I mean, like they could pull something like that. Maybe the armory got blown up and all your weapons are gone or something, or I
Well,
don't
that's
know.
what they're saying, but I understand that people are tired of the old, but bring something forward. The more and more I think about it, the more and more that I'm starting to dislike that everything's gone away. I know why they're doing it. I know it's going to give them a chance to do a clean slate, start over with the weapons, and so hey, but bring something forwards. I don't know.
Well, I mean, and there's still room to grow too. I mean, it's not like we know for certain what the story is going to be. Heck, we don't even know how the game's going to start. Like we have no clue. So like we don't know. Maybe there's something that we have our vault space or something, and then like something happens. Who knows? We won't know until then.
That would suck to pull our old vault. You get to play with your vault for like one mission, and then all of a sudden the Cabal attack, and you're like, nope, nope, no, you don't get to do that anymore.
Or actually, an interesting theory would be, or just an idea on how they could implement that. I just thought of was, they attack the tower, and that's supposed to be where the Guardians basically have all their stuff. Essentially, that's where the vault is. So if the Cabal attack the tower, then what happens to your vault? Like, can you access it? Maybe you can't until you like have to, reconnect the network somewhere or something. So maybe we don't start off with it, and then we can get it back.
Well, Bungie has said that. Well, Bungie has said pretty much nothing is coming forward. They're saying everything's gone away. I'm sort of just saying, why aren't some things coming forward? Bungie wants to start a clean slate. They want to destroy everything, and so lore-wise, the Cabal have destroyed all your weapons. But why aren't some of them coming forward? It's like if you're thinking about it, silly too objectively. Why is my specific guardian not holding a weapon or sitting with a weapon or living with a weapon when the Cabal attacked? My guardian is caught unaware, runs outside, somehow loses, not able to put on their armor, gets away, survives, but all their stuff is destroyed. I'm just saying, like, to me, I wish we had kept at least a little something. And I know there's going to be tokens in some of the cosmetic stuff to show we are in Destiny 1. But I want something there from Destiny 1 to pull over, even if it was like a class item or something. But, class items may be completely different. Who knows?
They could still even do something. I mean, look how, like the very first weapon you get when you start Destiny is like a Vostov or whatever. It's like an old version, and then you get the exotic later, or can if you choose to do so. So maybe they do something similar where you start off with just a plain ordinary weapon. And I understand you'd want to bring something, but they could attack that somehow, like story wise. Like I'm sure they can come up with maybe a reasonably plausible explanation as to why we don't have our equipment. And then we start rebuilding, that equipment base. So, I mean, there's a lot of things they can do. Just not having your carryover stuff to start with, but I also think it's good on them to just start everybody at a clean slate because, maybe if like somebody picks up Destiny 1 or doesn't play Destiny 1 and then starts playing Destiny 2, like they're not going to have anything. So it's kind of an unfair advantage for somebody like that too.
I understand why their full vaults don't come over, because if you have an exotic and you're facing people with like the equivalent of the white guns, I get that, but I don't know. It just doesn't. It wouldn't make. It doesn't make that much sense. It makes sense that yes, your vault is destroyed and all your items are destroyed, but it doesn't make sense that like I didn't have any of my armor on. I was like willy nilly. I was like in the showers or something, and all of a sudden, boom. Of course, do Exos need to take a shower?
Maybe they need a fluid exchange?
I don't know. Maybe they just walk through maybe Exos just walk through like the car wash or whatever. I don't know. I've been thinking about Exos today too. I'll get back to. I'm going off topic here. I've been thinking about Exos too. Do they bleed? If you like cut, I mean, I know that the Guardians they can be healed, but if they get cut, if they get damaged, what fluids do they leak out of themselves?
More than basic hydraulics? Sorry, go ahead.
are we just speaking Exos in general, or I mean, cause
Yeah, I was just thinking about Exos in general because like a human, say a human guardian. I mean, and then they're not going to show it because it's rated T. But a human guardian gets like shot in the leg, their leg gets blown off, blood's flowing out, whatever. Then the ghost says, "Okay, here, you're going to be healed," or the ghost, or they die and the ghost then resurrects them. An Exo, if their leg gets blown off, what kind of fluids are like flowing out of the Exo?
because I mean, like when you think about it, Exos are. I mean, we're talking like super hyper advanced robots essentially. So like, do they even use fluids? I mean, our robots nowadays do because we need hydraulics, but like,
I would think so because it's mostly about their AI system. And, you know, I don't know. They may not, but
But maybe they still need to keep those processors cool.
I was thinking. I also was thinking, if you're sitting there, what happened if they had a coolant, like too much coolant? Would you just see like the side of their face start to like ice over? Anyways, I'm getting a little bit off topic.
it's a shower thought.
It was. Anyways, going back to the destroying everything. It's okay, I guess. I just wish some of the stuff would roll over, but you know, they're gonna have a clean slate. It's gonna be a completely new game. Things are gonna be changed, you know, so it's gonna be nice. Just waiting for. The really sad part is for me personally is I'm not gonna be able to watch it live because I am subbing that day, and one of the teachers needs a sub for all 4 classes, and so I'm gonna be sitting there. I'm gonna be sitting there at the desk with it muted, off to the side on my laptop. But depending on what the teacher needs, um, you know, I may have to stand up and talk to some 6th graders about math. I think it's math during that period that it's going to be on. So no, math's fun, and in the 6th grade math is very interesting to go back and think. Oh yeah, I remember this. I'm able to teach the math. It's nice, but I really wish I had an off block then, so I could sit there and watch the reveal. I'm very excited about it. So I'm not even going. I wish I was going, but you know, whatever. They don't. Bungie doesn't even know who I am. But I'm very excited to be able to watch that on the 18th, which the next podcast will be after that reveal. So we should be able to have a longer podcast. And I'm excited for the reveal, for the podcast. I'm excited for it all. So. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much it for podcasting this week. It's a shorter podcast, and I want to say thank you, DriftngPlatypus, for coming on here. Any last things you, bnelly, would like to say this week?
Not anything profound from the duck puppy thoughts. Sorry.
All right. Well, I guess we're just waiting for the 18th then.
Next week should be good.